Greetings, BookTube. Hi, welcome back to the History Shelf. This is your host, Peg. I almost forgot how to open these things because it's been a while since my last video. And I wanted to give you guys a little channel update and let you know where I'm at with some things. The good news is, don't be alarmed by the channel update title on this video. This channel is alive and kicking. It's just, as you know, it's been an ongoing project here to see about the selling this my townhome and finding a home. And so we are in the throes of we've got people coming out on Saturday to photograph the place. So woo! I've been pretty dang busy. We both have, and I've been exhausted half the time. And in between my day job and then also book review deadlines, I have been pretty slammed. But I wanted to let you guys know that, I miss you. I miss making my videos. But I will be back making more, I hope to at least. We'll see how it goes once we list the place. I don't know how fast it'll go. And if it doesn't sell in the manner that we want it to, then we might just hunker down here for the winter. It's a backup plan. Anyway, hi everybody. I want to let you know I'm alive. We're both alive. We've just been super busy. Thanks for being patient. So this will be a quick video. I have a few more planned. I've got a backlog of books to show you. Used books that I picked up at Second and Charles. Gosh, it seems like almost a month ago now. 2 bags worth, which are right beneath the desk here. New books that have come in from publishers. A ton of those that I want to show you. And for the purposes of this video, I want to talk about, since October is on Friday, I didn't know that we would be doing so much in October. I thought the house would be listed on November 1st because my work has an annual conference coming up at the end of this month, and we're really busy working on that. It's both face-to-face and online. And I thought I had 1 buddy read, 2 buddy reads. Turned out I had 3 buddy reads for October. John David, don't get angry. Don't get angry. I'm going to do the best I can. So I thought I'd give an update on some of the buddy reads I've got going on for October. And I know Bill Ruttenberg is one of them, and he's been very gracious and like, look, I know you're busy, so we'll take as long as we need. And if you want to, postpone, but I don't. I'm gonna see how I can do. But I wanted to show you some of the books I'm buddy reading this month. And let me just tell you something about, and I know people are going to say, oh, you said this before. I'm like taking a little hiatus on book buying. I've gotten a few things that I also want to show here as well that I've gotten from my History Book Club. I'm a History Book Club member and I have History Book Club credits. So I like to use them while the books are still in the inventory. I get first editions. So I had several credits, and so I did use them recently. And in the past, people have said, oh, Peg, you said this before, and you keep hauling books, and you keep hauling books, but there is a very big corrective. Once you start boxing your books in preparation for moving or putting them into storage for a move, it really kind of takes the takes that eagerness for acquiring more books. It takes it down several notches. This is backbreaking labor. And so I've learned a valuable lesson. And actually, I'm very excited to... now, don't worry. I will be getting new books as they come in, new releases from publishers, and I'll be sharing them with you. I'm reviewing constantly. I'm getting new assignments. And so, there's a lot that I'm reading that is new and I can share with you. And of course, here and there, I'm going to pick up a book that I really want. But I have, from the last 2 months, some hauls from Hamilton Book and bookoutlet.com that I want to show you. But it's like going through my library and actually packing up books. I'm like, wow. So I am going to be kind of doing my digging into my backlist. And I'm really excited. I have some ideas for this channel as far as, picking a book off the shelf and sharing it with you and sharing my thoughts on it, and going back into books that were written a while ago. And in fact, the books that I hauled from Second and Charles, almost all of them are like old books. And I'm really excited, like old history books. There's a couple that are fairly recent, but mostly I picked up stuff that I haven't heard before. They're old. Really excited. All right, so 5 minutes in, I just wanted to give you an update on our lives, if you're interested. So October, buddy reads. And you'd think that I would at least pick like a slim volume. You know, here on the history shelf, we don't do slim volumes. Can I just show you? I went and picked up these 3 off the shelf. Oh, Peggy, why do I do this? Look how thick all of these are. Look how massive. Am I going to finish these all this month? In the midst of moving and packing? I may not. I'm asking for grace from my fellow buddy readers. Because there's so much going on in my life right now that I just, I can only do what I can do. And I really wasn't expecting this to hit. All this stuff was kind of hitting. Wasn't expecting to be doing this in October. But our realtor said, you got to do it now before it gets much later in the season. So I was like, all right, I guess we're doing it. All right. So with John David, my friend John David, I will link all of my Buddy Read friends channels below. One of my Buddy Read friends doesn't have a BookTube channel, but I know everyone's knows Patrice. But anyway, this is with my friend John David, and I am excited to read this. I've been meaning to read this for a very long time. And this is Peter Brown's Through the Eye of a Needle. Wealth, the Fall of Rome, and the Making of Christianity in the West, 350 to 550 AD. So, it's massive. He got a hardcover, lucky dog, from Princeton, and I had picked this up ages ago, and it was just, I think I might have purchased it off on Amazon. It's got a nice paperback. It's pretty meaty. Let me read it to you real quick. And this has won tons of awards. Jesus taught his followers that it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. Yet by the time Rome fell, the church had become rich beyond measure. And so Through the Eye of a Needle is a sweeping intellectual and social history of the vexing problem of wealth and Christianity in the waning days of the Roman Empire. Written by Peter Brown, the world's foremost scholar of late antiquity. Challenging the widely held notion that Christianity's growing wealth sapped Rome of its ability to resist the barbarian invasions, Brown offers a fresh perspective on the social history of the church in late antiquity. This has been blurbed by Gary Wills, Tom Holland, Peter Thornman, just tons of people. And I think I've read one other book by Peter Brown. I think The World of Late Antiquity. But it is a beast. A good kind of beast. I'm not sure how. I'm waiting. I think John David has a plan. Hey, John David, if you don't mind, maybe we can take 6 weeks to read this. There's no way I'm going to read this in 4 weeks, but I will do my best. Because this is not just like, I like to take my time. I'm about 40 pages an hour when it comes to like meaty intellectual stuff, academic writing. Sometimes I can average 50, but something like this, I might be down to 40 pages an hour. So, yeah. So we're gonna tackle this one. We're gonna start it this month, and we'll see when we end it. And then the next book, and if you guys also follow Bill Ruttenberg's channel, he mentioned this in one of his videos. And I did suggest October, but this could actually go into like maybe a 2-month read. It all depends. Bill's also busy. He's a history teacher and busy season. But we're going to go back to the Founding Fathers, and we're going to read John Meacham's Thomas Jefferson, The Art of Power. I started this ages ago. I think my bookmark is still in here. Yeah, I got about 35 pages in, and then I got sidetracked by something. So I'll go back and reread that. But I've heard good things about this book. This book has been highly acclaimed by many people in academia, and I really want to read this one. And so Bill and I are doing it together, and we will have a book chat that we will do, as we always do, as we finish up a book together. We'll do a video Zoom book chat. So we're starting this one this month. So it's just your standard biography. I won't read too much into it. And let's see here. Then in the third one, had been postponed a couple of times, but it needs to happen. I'm looking forward to it, and it actually follows on the heels of something I just recently read for a book review. And this is Frederick Douglass, Prophet of Freedom by David W. Blight. Look at this, just a beautiful cover too. I just love that painting. So nice big fat biography on Frederick Douglass, biography on Thomas Jefferson, and a study about wealth and the fall of Rome and the making of Christianity. This is what I do. I just love the end papers there. Look at that. So obviously everyone knows this book. This is huge. This is a mammoth work. And in fact, the book I just finished reading for review cited David Reynolds. Sorry. David Reynolds, who wrote a recent biography on Lincoln. But Blight is also mentioned because the book that I reviewed is about Frederick. It's about Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, and the quest for racial justice in America. So it's called The Black Man's President. That's coming out in... When is it coming out? I reviewed it far in advance of its publication date. So anyway, it's kind of all falls under that, that same historical setting. So fantastic. So I have 3 massive books that I'm going to try to start tackling in the midst of all of the churn at the casa. I should say that after, I don't know how many videos I can make in this location right here, but I'll be staging this room for the photographers on Saturdays. So the next video you see, I'm probably going to be, you're going to have a little more view of this side of the wall. Wait, over here. Nope, over there. And the closet door, because I'm pushing this desk all up against the wall where there used to be bookcases, but I've moved them. A lot of work has been going on, trust me. Okay, so it might look a little different. Now, History Book Club selections. Okay, so like I said, I belong to the History Book Club, and members can, every month you can opt in for a couple of credits, and each credit is like $17.50. And you can use a credit for a book, brand new book, first edition. So in a sense, a new release is $35. At History Book Club, you'll get it for $17.49. So, I mean, it's still a really good deal. And I had some credits accrued. They had some of the new releases coming out, and I really wanted them. So let me give you, let's see here. I've got six books I picked up recently with my credits. The first one's a small little thing. I didn't know it would be this kind of small. This is The Normans, A History of Conquest by Trevor Rowley. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's like a little intro type of book here. It says the Norman Conquest was a phenomenon unlike anything Europe had seen up to that point in history. The Normans emerged early in the 10th century, but had disappeared from world affairs by the mid-13th century. Yet in that time they had conquered England, Ireland, much of Wales, and parts of Scotland. They also founded a new Mediterranean kingdom in southern Italy and Sicily, as well as Crusader states in the Holy Land and in North Africa. Moreover, they had an extraordinary ability to adapt as time and place dictated, taking on roles as diverse as Norse invaders or Frankish crusaders, from Byzantine overlords to feudal monarchs. Drawing on archaeological and historical evidence, Trevor Rowley offers a comprehensive picture of the Normans and argues that despite the short time span of Norman ascendancy, it is clear that they were responsible for a permanent cultural and political legacy. Very cool. The book is like a 200-page read. So I picked up a little book on the Normans. And so kind of fits in with this. I have a book on the Normans, and then I got Mark Morris's new book, and I have several of his other books, including the Norman Conquest, so that follows in, but this is about the Anglo-Saxons. So you've got the Normans, and you got the Anglo-Saxons. This is A History of the Beginnings of England, 400 to 1066. And look at that beautiful cover. I love it. This is put out by Pegasus Books. I should have said the other book is put out by also Pegasus Books. Okay, so we've got Mark Morris here. All right, so I picked this up with my credit. So this is a sweeping and original history of the Anglo-Saxons. 1,600 years ago, Britain left the Roman Empire and fell swiftly into ruin. Grand cities and luxurious villas were deserted and left to crumble, and civil society collapsed into chaos. Into this violent and unstable world came foreign invaders from across the sea, establishing themselves as its new masters. The Anglo-Saxons traces the turbulent history of these people across the next 6 centuries. It explains how their earliest rulers fought relentlessly against each other for glory and supremacy, and then were almost destroyed by the onslaught of the Vikings. It explores how they abandoned their old gods for Christianity, established hundreds of churches, and created dazzlingly intricate works of art, which I believe they really highlight on the cover. And they're amazing. Look at that. This authoritative narrative charts the revival of towns and trade, as well as the origins of a familiar landscape of shires, boroughs, and bishoprics. The Anglo-Saxons is a tale of famous figures like King Offa, Alfred the Great, and Edward the Confessor. But the book also features a host of lesser-known characters, ambitious queens, revolutionary saints, intolerant monks, and grasping nobles. Through their remarkable careers, we see how a new society, a new culture, and a single unified nation came into being. All right. So, Normans, Anglo-Saxons, got those two covered. And then we moved to Italy. And I read Paul Strathern's works. I reviewed one of his books on the Borgias. And so I was excited to get his new book on the Florentines. Look at this guy over here. From Dante to Galileo, the Transformation of Western Civilization. There you go. And this is put out by... Hello. Also Pegasus Books. They're putting out a lot of good history this fall. Okay, so the Florentines. Let's take a look here. Between the birth of Dante in 1265 and the death of Galileo in 1642, something unique occurred that transformed the entire culture of Western civilization. Painting, sculpture, and architecture would all visibly change in such a striking fashion that there could be no going back on what had taken place. Likewise, the thought and self-conception of humanity would take on a completely new aspect. The sciences would be born or emerge in an entirely new guise. The ideas that broke this mold began and continued to flourish in the city of Florence in northern central Italy. These ideas, which placed an increasing emphasis on the development of our common humanity, rather than otherworldly spirituality, coalesced in what came to be known as humanism. This philosophy and its new themes would eventually spread across Italy, yet wherever they took hold, they would retain an element essential to their origin, and as they spread further across Europe, this element would remain. In this new, vivid history, Paul Strathern shows how Florence and the Florentines themselves played a momentous and transformative role in the Renaissance. So I'm looking forward to that. I really enjoyed his book on the Borgias. That's nice. We got some beautiful artwork. Color artwork towards the end. It's not really, oh yeah, and in the centerpiece too. Richly illustrated in the center insert and at the end of the book. So we got that one as well. Okay, I've got 3 more books. I just need to just pause real quick on this video and I'll be right back. Okay, so sorry for that little interruption there. I just realized I am remiss. I mentioned who I was buddy reading all these other books with, except for the Frederick Douglass. I'm telling you guys, I am just a bit frazzled, but sorry. So I'm going to head back to this book real quick to tell you I'm reading it with Lukash from A Cruel Reader's Thesis and Patrice Jones. So who's our friend on Voxers, and we have done many buddy reads together, and we're looking forward to doing that. So I just wanted to go back and apologize for not referencing who I was actually buddy reading this book with. So there you have it. And I'll link all pertinent channels below. Okay, so well, we got 3 books left, I think, right? Is that what I did? I think I did. Okay, so the next book I picked up, going to the Viking era here, we've got Arthur Herman. Wrote The Viking Heart, How Scandinavians Conquered the World. And I think is this the same guy who wrote the biography on, or is it Herman with 2 ends? There was another gentleman who wrote a biography on Douglas MacArthur, and I think it's Arthur Herman, but This is the Arthur Herman who wrote How the Scots Invented the Modern World. But this one has gotten extreme advanced praise from Alan Gelzo, Andrew Roberts, Barry Strauss. And if you love reading about the Vikings, as I do, this is a must-have. So I picked this up with my History Book Club credit, and this is put up by HMH, which is Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. There you go. Ooh, look at that. Yes. All right, let's see here. All right, from a New York Times best-selling historian and Pulitzer Prize finalist, a sweeping epic of how the Vikings and their descendants have shaped history in America. Scandinavia has always been a world apart. For millennia, Norwegians, Danes, Finns, and Swedes lived a remote and rugged existence among the fjords and peaks of the land of the midnight sun. But when they finally left their homeland in search of opportunity, these wanderers, including the most famous, the Vikings, would reshape Europe and beyond. Their ingenuity, daring, resiliency, and loyalty to family and community would propel them to the gates of Rome, the steppes of Russia, the courts of Constantinople and Baghdad, and the castles of England and Ireland. But nowhere would they leave a deeper mark than across the Atlantic, where the Vikings' legacy would become the American dream. In The Viking Heart, Arthur Herman melds a compelling historical narrative of war, enterprise, and adventure with cutting-edge archaeological and DNA research. His account describes for the first time the full epic story of this remarkable and diverse people, including their impact as immigrants on their new home in America. He shows how the Scandinavian experience has universal meaning, from the Norse sagas to Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, and how we can still be inspired by their indomitable spirit, the spirit of risking it all to venture into the unknown. So, fantastic. This might not be the same MacArthur biographer, but he has written, in addition to How the Scots Invented the Modern World, he wrote Gandhi and Churchill, which was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. Fabulous! So that's a good pickup with my credit. The next book I picked up, so you know I love my international reading. Great new release. This is Cuba, An American History by Ada Ferrer. And it's also blurbed highly by David W. Blight. We just saw. Everything's coming together in this video. This is put up by Scribner. It's a brand new release. Beautiful hardcover here. Let's see here. This is an epic sweeping, everything's sweeping, if you notice, in all of these blurbs. History of Cuba and its complex ties to the United States from before the arrival of Columbus to the present day, written by one of the world's leading historians of Cuba. And I haven't read anything by Ada Ferrer, so this will be interesting. It says here, in 1961, at the height of the Cold War, the United States severed diplomatic relations with Cuba, where a momentous revolution had taken power 3 years earlier. For more than half a century, the standoff continued through the tenure of 10 American presidents and the 50-year rule of Fidel Castro. His death in 2016 and the retirement of his brother and successor, Raul Castro, in 2021 have spurred questions about the country's future. Meanwhile, politics in Washington, Barack Obama's opening to the island, Donald Trump's reversal of that policy, and the election of Joe Biden have made the relationship between the two nations a subject of debate once more. Now, award-winning historian Ada Ferrer delivers an ambitious and moving chronicle written for a moment that demands a new reckoning with both the island's past and its relationship with the United States. Spanning more than 5 centuries, Cuba, in American history, provides us with a front-row seat as we witness the evolution of the modern nation, with its dramatic record of conquest and colonization, of slavery and freedom, of independence and revolutions made and unmade. Along the way, Ferrer explores the sometimes surprising, often troubled intimacy between the two countries, documenting not only the influence of the U.S. on Cuba, but also the many ways the island has been a recurring presence in U.S. affairs. This, then, is a story that will give American readers unexpected insights into the history of their own nation, and, in so doing, help them imagine a new relationship with Cuba. Fascinating. We've got some beautiful end papers here, too, and there's our author, Ada Ferrer, but the front piece here, look at that. And then at the back, beautiful photograph. What is this? This is gorgeous. Look at that. I don't have a recent. I don't even think I have a book of history on Cuba. So, just from beginning to now. So I'm really excited for this one, and I thought it was a good use of my credit. All right. And the last book that I picked up, I was very excited. I'd seen this coming, and I really wanted to get my hands on it. This is Conquistadores, A New History of Spanish Discovery and Conquest by Fernando Cervantes. Look at that cover. It's fantastic. It's put up by Viking. Brand new release here. I was really intrigued by I'd read several reviews of it in like the TLS, Times Literary Supplement, probably New York Review of Books, a couple other places. Matthew Restall, who's another writer I really like, a historian, he's blurbed it. So oh God, this is funny. I should compare how many books in this set all use the word sweeping in the dust jacket copy. Are you ready? A sweeping authoritative history of 16th century Spain and its legendary conquistadors, whose ambitious and morally contradictory campaigns propelled a small European kingdom to become one of the most formidable empires in the world. Over the few short decades that followed Christopher Columbus's first landing in the Caribbean in 1492, Spain conquered the two most formidable civilizations of the Americas, the Aztecs of Mexico and the Incas of Peru. Hernan Cortez, Francisco Pizarro, and the other explorers and soldiers that took part in these expeditions dedicated their lives to seeking political and religious glory, helping to build an empire unlike any the world had ever seen. But centuries later, these conquistadors have become the stuff of nightmares. In their own time, they were glorified as heroic adventurers spreading Christian culture. Today, they stand condemned for their cruelty and exploitation as men who decimated ancient civilizations and carried out horrific atrocities in their pursuit of gold and glory. In Conquistadores, acclaimed Mexican historian Fernando Cervantes, himself a descendant of one of the conquistadors, cuts through the layers of myth and fiction to help us better understand the context that gave rise to the conquistadors' actions. Drawing upon previously untapped primary sources that include diaries, letters, chronicles, and polemical treatises, Cervantes immerses us in the late medieval imperialist and religious world of 16th century Spain. As unfamiliar to us now as the indigenous peoples of the New World were to the conquistadors themselves. His thought-provoking, illuminating account reframes the story of the Spanish conquest of the New World and the half-century that irrevocably altered the course of history. So it sounds like he's going to make some contentions that will be a little controversial, but I love that. I love that in history. So, this is some good stuff. Amply illustrated, and we've got maps throughout. Can't wait. Can't wait to see where we're going to land as far as a house goes, and building up my new library as far as curating it, organizing it, and digging into my backlist of many books. And I'm very excited. So, I just wanted to give you guys a little update about where I'm at. I'm sorry for the delay in posting videos. This week isn't especially insane, and maybe I'll be able to breathe by Sunday, and I can make some more videos. I'll try to make another one today, tonight, tomorrow. There's a lot to do, but I wanted to let you know that there's a lot of reading on the horizon, and there always is. But life is good. I feel I'm glad to be doing what I'm doing. I feel blessed, and I just love what I do, and I love this community on BookTube. And I just thank you for all the viewers and friends that I've made who watch and who have liked and commented and subscribe. And, you know, I don't know what my anniversary date is. I think I started this in, when did I start this channel, you guys? 2019, 2018? I need to find out. But I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers. I mean, I've got a couple hundred more to go, but you know, I don't think I'm ever going to get any larger than that, and that's okay with me. I just like sharing the books that I read, little things that go on in life. I like sharing my new jersey that Martine picked up for me on sale, which is also another Stafford football jersey. Check it. This is his old team, the Lions, which is my team, which, you know, when you're a Lions fan, it's an uphill battle all the way. But anyway, I don't know. I just like talking to you guys. Sorry for the rambling. I missed you. I will try to make another video very soon, but just don't worry. I'm not going anywhere except maybe to, you know, a new home somewhere, a larger home with larger room for my books. And I'll always have new books to share with you. But I will be cycling them in and out, because I do have a massive library and I want to share with you what I already own. So, you guys, I'm going to end it there, and let me know how things are going for you. Let me know what you think about these books. And until next time, BookTube, I'll see you soon. All right. Bye.